pace this fall. Ton of wrestlers in there, and couldn't come at a better time and from a nicer guy.
All showing support for the wrestling cause here in this double duel meet. The U.S. and Iran earlier today, and the U.S. and Russia continues right now. 66 kilograms, Brent Metcalf, the former Iowa Hawkeye, matched up against Soslan Ramonov of Russia, 9th of the World Cup last year, two-time Moscow Lights champion. And Metcalf, like Stieber before him, aggressive here in the opening few seconds, but a push out at the edge, and the point will go to the Russian.
Soslan did a great job of defending there at the edge of the mat, turning Metcalf's momentum and pushing him out for the 1-point takedown.
Metcalf wrestled as a freshman at Virginia Tech, then transferred to Iowa, two-time NCAA champ for the Hawkeyes. Former Hodge Trophy winner is the nation's top wrestler.
Wow, a nice drag again there on the edge. Metcalf stepping out again.
And Metcalf trying to defend, maybe didn't realize totally where he was, is out of bounds. Credit another push out for the Russian at a 2-0 lead.
Sometimes things get a little mixed around and confused there. You think you're in the center of the mat and you've moved a little too far and you don't really estimate it as well as you think you should, and then boom, you're out of bounds. You know, one little step. That's what makes this push out rule pretty exciting here.
See if Metcalf can come up with some magic here into this first period.
Oh, yeah. And Brent, the way that Iowa style is, they're grinding. If this was a 45-minute match, Brent Metcalf knows he is going to just dominate it. And that's his style. That's the Brands' style, which was passed down from Gable, is wear your opponent down, work him. So look for Brent to really come back strong the second and third period as Soslan gets worn down here.
And Ramonov still nursing this 2-0 lead. Metcalf here in that chant of USA as he tries to respond here. Into the final 30 seconds.
Soslan did a fantastic job that first minute and 30 seconds of taking Metcalf's momentum and using it against him.
Now the Russian Warren using the head, so the break, and now back after it in the final 20 seconds.
And what Metcalf really is going to look to do here is continue to pull on that head, as you see. He doesn't want the Russian to stand up. He doesn't want Soslan to give him even a break. He wants to make him wrestle that entire 2 minutes, really make him stay at his pace.
And now a warning there to Metcalf as time expires. Those two coming together.
That happens sometimes, you know. You go to try to hit the guy in the head, you try and you get a finger in the eye. That's why they call it wrestling.
Metcalf, both wrestlers collecting themselves. Ramonov gets the period win. And Metcalf finished third last month at the U.S. Open, his third top 3 finish in the event for him. He looks at the left eye after colliding there with his Russian counterpart. Last year, finals of the Olympic team trials, Metcalf lost it here at Freyer in the finals at home on his home mat, Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Yep.
Certainly trying to respond from that back on the international level and back at it, trying to keep his Olympic dreams alive for Rio in 2016.
And that's the Iowa mentality there. They almost go with the mentality, to quote Ricky Bobby, if you're not first, you're last. And one of the best things I've ever seen was Iowa won 2011, 2010 NCAA title. Not one of them was a champion. And if you would have seen the look of disappointment in that team's photo, you wouldn't have guessed that team just won a team national title. It's just, that's how they're brought up, that's how they're trained. You're in that singlet, you're out there to do one thing, and that's the win.
We'll see if Metcalf can come up with a winning formula here in the second period, again losing the first 2-0 to Ramonov.
Metcalf really liking that single leg too. Sorry, Russia's right leg right now, and wow, nice drag, great action. These guys are out here battling. You can just see the fatigue, the sweat dripping off it. This is a hard-paced action match.
Big time flurry. No
exchanging shots. Metcalf going back to that right leg every time. That's what he wants. That's his habit. It's an attack, go, attack, go. There's nothing else going in his head except for shoot and score, shoot and score.
These guys may get stalemated here. Now back up, and they'll get restarted again nearly at the center, under 45 seconds left to go.
Ramonov doing a great job trying to drag around Metcalf. He got it early in the first period, but Metcalf is able to adjust right now. And that's one of the fun things about wrestling out here is a guy might go out and have a sweet move and hit it on you 1, 2, 3 times, but you adjust. You change up your strategy. You change up your game plan.
Well, great defense there in that last flurry by Metcalf, but he needs some offense here.
Wow, just gets his leg back in time. I thought Ramonov was on that, and wow. Great action here for a 0-0 period. A lot of attacks, a lot of changes, a lot of, I shoot, you shoot, I shoot, and they're going to the ball grab right now.
Well, it is scoreless. Metcalf will watch the pick of the ball on the tiebreaker as we look at Dan Gable, the legend from Iowa, 1972 Olympic gold medalist.
Did not give up a single point in that 72 games, unscored on, with a torn ACL the entire tournament. That's a living legend right there in the sport of wrestling.
Continuing his career as the highly successful coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes in the college ranks. Well, the color picked by Ramonov was blue, so Metcalf will have the advantage, get to grab a leg, and have 30 seconds in which to score and try to win the period and even up the match.
Some of you are wondering at home why Russia keeps getting the ball, gets to pick the ball. The way the rules work is red draws first, and then blue draws, and then in a third period, the referee will draw, if there were to be a 3-clinch period.
And now we had a caution and a warning and a penalty point issued out here to Metcalf.
And what happened there is Ramonov was not allowing Metcalf to take his lock. The ref kept telling him, present your leg, hey, keep your arms up, let him take the lock, let him go to it. And Red was just, refusing to do so, refusing to cooperate, and you get hit and dinged. And it's unfortunate when that happens, but that's the way the rules are.
So the penalty point essentially ends the period. The tiebreaker goes to Metcalf. And as a defensive wrestler, you're trying to basically get away with enough that you can so your opponent doesn't get a great hold there in that clinch.
It's a very fine, scary, dangerous line to walk. But yeah, you're already starting with a disadvantage, so you want to get just that little bit of edge that you can. In times like that, when you try to take too much, you're going to get hit.
Ramonov was warned and then burned, and now maybe energized by that period win. Metcalf trying to score.
Wow, a great scramble. Ramonov not giving it up yet, even though he's on his butt. He's still reaching inside, looking to get a reversal and a switch right there.
They did award the point, but the Russian wrestler looking to counter back on Metcalf.
You know what? Every time Ramonov puts his hand down there, that's a point. When you go hand-to-hand in freestyle wrestling, that's 1 point. So Metcalf looking to expose his back right here.
And he picks up another point, and now back points as well as
right
they
there.
pile up. 4-0 is the score, and now the break, and Metcalf here with a massive showing in the third.
That was big on Metcalf. What he did was he got that double leg, he kept those knees together and kept lifting them high, causing Ramonov to expose his back for points. And when you expose your back and come back to center and expose it again, that's 2 separate sets of points.
Now the United States now, and Metcalf with a bevy of points to work with. As we saw before, he can't fall asleep. Remember Stieber earlier in the match that he won was up 3-0 in a period and ended up losing the period 7-5.
Oh, this is not over yet. That's the best thing about wrestling. You can be up by 14 points, beating a guy the whole time, then all of a sudden, one headlock, one wrong move, you're on your back, you get pinned, you lose. On any given day, anybody can beat anybody. And that's why, in my opinion, this is one of the greatest sports. And Metcalf in there for the double leg to his back to end the match.
Wow, point for the takedown, the exposure points too. And Brent Metcalf says, hello, New York City.
Doing it in the Iowa fashion too, getting stronger and better as the match goes on.
Now some disappointment at the international level for Brent Metcalf in recent years, but success here in the Big Apple. What a third period from Metcalf.
And here he is. See how he has the legs locked together? He's trying to lift those legs high after he secures that takedown. And Ramonov not giving up, which is almost a bad thing. He almost wanted to belly out and give up the point. Just settle for, hey, just having 1 point, being down by 1 point so he can get back up to his feet. But unfortunately, held on too long, and Metcalf was here able to expose him again and again. And here's the big double leg right to his back to end the match. Wow.
And
amazing wrestling.
Ramonov knew it. Resigned to his fate. Brent Metcalf picking up the W, and the U.S. rolling, unbeaten so far in this